Welcome to episode 251 of No Brains, No Headache podcast. Happy to be here. Damn glad to do so for yet another episode. We got a good 60 to 90 coming your way. Name's Jordan Weichel, host, as always. Across from me, confidant, co-host, fellow comedian, longtime friend, the producer of the video. I'm the audio guy. You know, we're a tag team. It's the one and only. It's Matt Cleary. Matt, welcome to the show. How are you?
Shitty.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me again.
As always.
Really looking forward to this.
I'm sensing a little sarcasm in your voice.
Let me... apparently, this is what they meant when they said, please drink responsibly.
Okay, we're starting there.
I didn't do that. Got a little crater on my old forehead.
Yeah. Did we ever figure out how that came to be?
Nope.
You just keep telling people.
Different things.
Like you're falling down the stairs, fell on a bike.
Ladder. My lamp hit me on the head when I was sleeping.
I was setting up booby traps in my house and
threw a paint can down my stairs and it hit me. I home alone-ed myself.
If you will. Well, I mean, that was one of the best, times, one of the more impressive experiences you and I have had together. I picked up Matt this past Saturday on the weekend. Matt had two cars to pick up located at opposite ends of town.
It's pretty impressive when you have two vehicles and neither one is at your house.
But so I picked up Matt to kind of help him, get from A to B to C to D. And, for the first part, Matt tells me just, how his night prior was. He made some decisions. He said it's about twice a year this happens where there's just the lights were on, nobody was home. And then we drop off one vehicle and, Matt runs inside really quick and chats with his roommate briefly. And he comes out and says the plot thickens. It got way more interesting after that.
Let's just say half of my body slept inside and the other half slept outside.
You really have a hard time with that door.
I was trying to do the magician thing where they pull your body apart.
I take it you didn't have your keys on you to open it. Wait, your car was downtown, so you couldn't use the garage.
I had my keys on me. Yeah.
But I thought maybe you could open the garage, but if your car's not here.
I'm pretty sure the door was unlocked because there's no way. I'm sober and I don't know the code to my house, so...
Do you think it would be like too wild just to like have a garage door opener, like not even a code, like keypad thing, just the actual button where you can just walk up
on the outside? Like cool. If you want to steal something in my garage, it's like just don't take the weed whacker and we're good.
Well, that's even what I was saying. I was moving out of my apartment this past week, and there was one point where people were helping me move, and they're like, "Do you want to shut your door and lock it?" And I'm like, dude, there's nothing left in my apartment, just boxes. And I'm like, looked at them, I'm like, if they really want to steal the shit that bad, they can just have it. I say that with my vehicle too, depending on what part of town I'm in. That's the lovely part about living in Bismarck, North Dakota, where we're coming to you live. Mindlessly entertaining, by the way. No brains, no headache. But Bismarck, North Dakota, yeah. Subscribe, rate, review, whatever the buzzwords
You're supposed to say it like 5 minutes into recording. And we did it.
423.
So, yeah. Nice.
Right on. By the way, the show hasn't started yet.
Yeah. Housekeeping.
But living in Bismarck is great because it's like a rather safe community, I would say.
Yeah.
Like there's certain places where like I'll get out of my vehicle and I'm like looking at the lock button and I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like, and I don't keep much. I keep my car pretty clean. There's really nothing like right now. There's stuff of value in there, but because I'm just hauling a few things. But
I think my golf clubs are in there, but like if someone stole my golf clubs, it'd be like, oh shucks, I can't play golf the rest of the summer.
I'm really heartbroken.
I went to the first tournament I played in this year, and I like get to the course, and I'm like, I really hope my golf clubs are in the trunk. I have not looked since I played 9 months ago.
I guess that's something good to know. But yeah, that is the beautiful part of living in a rather safe community. Like, especially if I'm going to a grocery store or something where I know my hands are going to be full. It's like, I might even just pop up the back end open and just leave it open the whole time. I mean, and that's the thing about like my apartment that I thought of. I was like, okay, first of all, they have to get past like the first front doors to get in. If I don't like lock my apartment, they'll still shut the door. But if I didn't lock my actual unit, I have to get past the front doors. Then they have to go up to the 4th floor. And then they have to pick the exact unit that they think is unlocked. And then they still have to like steal shit and get away with it. You walk right out my door, there's a camera staring right at you. And no matter what way you take out of the building, you're gonna run into about 3-4 cameras on the way out. I'm not saying that's foolproof, but
honestly,
you go ahead and steal whatever you want. I don't give a shit.
The only reason I'm mad that I haven't plugged my cameras in yet, I totally did, so don't break into my house. But is to watch me on the tapes of like me getting home. Like, how did this actually go? Because they would have been perfect angles for everything.
Yeah, I mean, you recently hooked him up, which wasn't in time.
Like right before, like I had the guy come over and
on Sunday.
I dug a moat around, put alligators in it, so watch out for that.
But yeah, that would just be prime entertainment.
Oh,
like, all right, here's a compilation video of me trying to get into my home intoxicated for 15 minutes. Everybody keep it down. Lights off.
At one point, I give up and just start making a bed in the bushes.
But you're probably wondering, as a loyal listener of No Brains, No Headache, what the heck? This past Tuesday, there was no new episode. These guys just give up? Well, I mean, a little bit.
On life, yes.
There's an argument to be made there. But a lot of changes. I am no longer a full-time resident of Bismarck, North Dakota. Where I am residing now, that's gonna remain confidential. I've literally told everybody.
And on this show.
Figure it out.
Yeah, listen
Figure it out.
Yeah, listen to the last 5 minutes of the last 15 episodes, and Jordan tells you.
It's like CrossFit. I just can't help myself but talk about it. But yeah, we will just kind of be releasing episodes, I would say, as we record them.
Yeah. You'll get them pretty much as we get them.
I mean, I would say like Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, for sure. More than likely, it's going to be Wednesday. We are recording today, Wednesday, January 4th. It's a little after 5 p.m. We're going to upload this the moment we are done. It's going to be fresh. This is going to be some of the freshest episodes that we've ever released, which is nice because I feel like a lot of time
Sometimes
we talk about stuff, and then 2 days ago, like the one time we played Dead or Alive. And if you aren't familiar, if you're not a long-time loyal listener, that's fine. Welcome aboard. But in the early days of NBNH, we played this game called Dead or Alive, where essentially Matt would just pick a random celebrity, and I would have to guess if they were dead or alive. A very difficult game, actually, because you forget about some of these people like passing. And we did that a couple days ahead of time before our release day of the episode. Well, when we played the game and we recorded, one of the gentlemen that Matt had was alive. And by the time we uploaded the episode, he died. We killed somebody on the show.
I think I did it again this week, too.
What do you mean? Who died?
So, this was either last week or the week before. I mentioned Sports Science when they did one for Joey Chestnut.
Yeah. What's his name? Brinkman? John Brinkman?
Yeah, that guy died.
Yeah.
Whoops.
I'm not trying to make fun of mental health. I definitely think it's a very important thing, something I definitely try to keep an eye on. We're actually going to talk about that a little bit later.
Carl Reiner. He was the guy that died.
Okay, yeah. He plays Saul in Ocean's 11, right?
Yep. So we recorded like June 25th and released it on June 30th, and he died June 29th.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Our bad.
Yeah. Well,
that must have literally been like the first 5 episodes.
Yeah, it was like, I think it was like number 4 or
Sometimes I look back on the content we put out there and just scratch my head.
Dude, let's start the sports podcast.
Well, I feel like I was saying something there. Where was I at?
You don't live in Bismarck anymore.
No, past
the episode. I have a severe concussion, by the way. I cannot think
It's me, your daddy, Roberto.
Daddy?
You know, I seen you on the ESPN.
I kept thinking this week that I'm like, wow, my eyes are getting a lot worse when I look at screens. And I'm like, turns out my eyes are just like moving around.
It's like that time you thought you were just super hungover, but you're also wearing your roommate's contact lenses.
That could happen to anyone.
I mean, it could.
But the fact that I didn't...
I remember where I was at. Sorry. John Brinkman is his name from Sports Science.
Yep.
Anyway, the caption said that he lost his battle with depression, which I just think was a very interesting way of, I'm not going to say it, but I think we all know what happened there, which sucks. I mean, I'm just going to be honest, that sucks. But yeah, so new schedule going forward. We're just going to kind of release them as we go. Matt and I also have to figure out when we're going to do the lake episodes. We'll be coming to you live from the lake with just having a good time. So I'm excited about that. And I really haven't heard anything, any pushback about it, except for our listener, Paul. So I'm talking to you, Paul. Okay. You, pal, you're probably at work right now listening. You're saying, are they talking to me?
Oh, I'm going to do work.
Yeah. But, Paul, I think you'll be fine. Okay? You're the only person that complained about it, and we appreciate you keeping us honest, but you're going to be fine. So that's what's going to happen going forward. We're just going to record when we can. We'll still do one a week.
While we're on the subject of Paul, he sent me a GIF this week, or a meme on Instagram.
I think we've given Paul already enough airtime.
But then all I said back was, I hate you. And he said, get in line, pal.
That's good. That is rich.
Maybe throw a little rouge on ya. Tuck your sack back. You game? No.
Remember that one time you tucked the sack back at my mom's house?
And then I said, is that where I said, do you know where the women's restroom is? I need to do that more often.
No.
Hey!
Oh, fuck. I think I broke some ribs, too.
Oh, okay, Matt. Dry January.
Yeah. I'm going to do dry January this year.
Matt told me this, and I said, it's June. And Matt just said, I've heard it both ways.
Well, no, I don't know if I'm going to do it this January.
You're already planning ahead, 7 months in advance.
I'm already planning on giving up on dry January, but then maybe the next year I'll do it.
I'm actually, and no offense, by the way, but I'm excited to not constantly, be surrounded by you, and maybe I could not drink all the time.
Okay, first of all, we haven't been together in 5 days.
This is true.
And you got wasted last night.
Okay, well, you don't gotta tell everybody. Why don't we just make it a newsletter? I didn't drive, okay? I was responsible about it.
I thought you said I had to drive. I was responsible.
I gotta admit, I took a little bit of an edible.
Arrangement.
Matt, you can wait outside, and I will let you know when we're ready to bring you back in.
Take 5.
Looks like this is a solo episode. I hope I have enough to talk about. But I did a little bit of a marijuana edible THC product, and it was the classic, just take a nibble. It's pretty potent. So I listened, and it didn't matter. That it got to be uncomfortable at a certain point. But what can you do? So always start with half, or maybe even an eighth. Start with a 1/16, not half. Go less than half, maybe. But there's that. Yeah. Matt's doing dry January. It's June.
And then speaking on the edible parts, I did some melatonin last night.
Ooh.
And I never remember my dreams unless they're melatonin dreams. And last night I must have read something. So the White Sox were trying to build a stadium in Chicago, but got cucked by the Chicago Fire, are building it on that site now.
Is this a true story that you read earlier in the day?
Yeah. And then the dream was that some players from the Chicago Fire got kidnapped by the White Sox, and in true Ace Ventura style, the Chicago PD called you and I to go,
Jordan and Matt.
Yeah, to go uncover the Chicago Fire players so they could build their new stadium.
Probably a few better options out there. Did we answer? Did we?
Yeah, we went, and then I woke up sweating profusely. So
I I'd try to not do the melatonin if I can. It's just, it really, I agree 100% that it just gives you the weirdest dreams in the world.
Oh, it's nuts. I kind of like it, but then like sometimes
I don't
like it. Like that was a pretty tame one last night.
Melatonin will have me waking up at about 2:43 a.m. being like, all right, let's get ready to go for the day.
I
And
woke
it's
up
like,
at 3:15.
yeah, it doesn't last.
I watched the entire first season of Tires and then went to work.
Been up since 3:15.
Yeah. But those 4 hours.
Burning the midnight oil, huh? What's this bees about?
Oh, so there was 250 million bees spilled out of a semi in Washington this week.
State.
Yep.
Washington State.
And it was like so close to a town and like where wind was going that they knew that this town. So basically someone called ahead and they had to do an alert to all the residents to
Did they just just play the Tommy Boy clip? Bees!
That's what I was
Bees! And they're just confused. They're like, what does this mean? And then they just look outside and it's like in 300 when there's so many arrows that it covers the sun, but it's so many bees.
That's pretty much what I'm thinking.
These honeybees? Hope they're not just transferring wasps. Like, what the hell?
So we slap a quick W on this box so I know that it's full of wasps. But yeah, I was like, what do you even do then? It's like, so you get an alert on your phone, like, oh, another old guy's missing. You like look down, you're like 250 million bees coming towards what?
You know you can turn those off. Silver alert.
Yeah, I finally figured that out like last week.
Pretty recently.
I also figured out this thing that if you hit your power button 5 times in a row, it calls 911. And I always have my phone in my pocket, like maybe listening to a podcast or music, and I always try to like turn it up or down. And
It's the wrong side.
And yeah, after calling 911 about 6 times in a month, I found out how to turn that off.
I guess I didn't know that, but
yeah,
good to know.
Oh, the reason I brought this up was I want to see if your guess was as bad as mine. How much do you think 250,000 or 250 million bees weighs?
250 million pounds.
You think one bee weighs a pound?
Are we just going bee weight or like don't they have hives and shit that they gotta the little like dresser, the little drawers or thingies?
Well,
thingies?
yeah, but like how much they said?
100 million pounds.
No, I was way under. Well, it's 70 million. I guessed
that wasn't too bad.
I mean 70,000.
Oh, okay.
And I guessed 400 pounds.
God. So it's 70K.
Yeah.
7 tons is what 250 million bees weighs.
Yeah.
Wow. Just chock full of facts here on No Brains, No Headache, episode 251. You ever thought that at live concerts, you know how like the singer has the earpiece in? Do you ever think they're just listening to their music on Spotify? Like just their own songs.
Yeah, it has like a karaoke screen
Yeah.
down below. All the
Yeah. I always thought that. It's like, what do they... I mean, obviously they have a producer and somebody...
it's playback.
I mean, yeah, but... And then other people can get in their ear to like talk, say
Yeah.
a message or something, but... It's like, what if they're just listening to iTunes?
Or what if like some of those bees got into like the producing booth and like all the hearing is like, ah!
Just a thought, but hey, we got episode 251 ready to rock for you guys, so we're excited about it. Let's get into it.
Okay. Let's party.
Arkansas authorities are still looking for an escaped man who is a former police chief, and this guy like killed someone, obviously in maximum security, but apparently it's not that hard to get out of maximum security because he just dressed in similar colors to the guards and walked out the door.
Yeah, you'd be shocked at how easy it is.
And
It takes guts.
so he's been gone for 2 weeks. So they did a photo rendering of what he could look like now. It's just the worst.
I don't get it. Did they think he just no longer bald on the sides of his head?
Yeah, they just gave him a beard, and they're like, how much technology and time went into this?
I mean, I guess it makes sense. I'm assuming he's probably trying to put on some sort of disguise. Do you ever think that maybe you could just just be like a fat, not very well manicured person and then commit a very serious crime and then just like get a haircut and a shave and then like lose weight very rapidly?
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
Still feel like there's like the technology for like facial recognition and stuff, but I feel like there's a ton of people in the world that look similar. Like kind of like the classic, like, oh, you're 5'10", medium build white dude with brown hair. That could be anyone.
Yeah.
But me, it's like, wow, that dude with a gash on his forehead and looks like he hasn't showered in 4 days. That's literally me or Samson.
Yeah. I was shoe shopping earlier and I was like, God, I wish I didn't have the most common size. There's never the options you want.
9.
9.5, yes. I mean, depending on the shoe, anywhere from like 9 to 10-ish. I don't know. Well, dude, isn't there a lot of escaped convicts like recently? Didn't another one happen somewhere else where it was like a dozen of them got out?
Yeah.
What happened there?
I can't remember. That one, I think like they literally just like, they put one guard in a van with 12 convicts and they just like overpowered him.
That's no good.
Right to jail, right away. You're driving too fast, jail. Slow, jail. You're charging too high prices for sweaters, glasses. You right to jail.
The spokesperson for the department, though, had maybe the greatest name ever. First name, Rand. Like Rand, West Virginia, where Randy Moss is from.
I want Randy. Ba, 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 ba. I want Randy. That's my new song, by the way.
Last name, Champion.
Rand Champion.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're done being a spokesperson for the Gateway, Arkansas Police Department.
Championship.
Then you, sir, have a career in amateur pornography or semi-pro football.
Rand Champion. Rand Train. Ran for political office.
Rand job.
Ran the marathon. Yeah, I think Train's probably the best one. Any more on the escape convict latest?
Oh no, they're just like, we need to figure out security protocols. It's like, you need to figure out how to, I don't know, not let people walk directly out the door. Like that guy in Williston that literally, this was like a month ago, that
Willie Billy?
Yeah, all he did was had his friend go to a gas station and buy one of those hats that say like FBI on them.
Nice.
And the guy went in, he's like, I need to transfer a prisoner, and gave him his name. And they're like, he'll be right out. And the guy just left with him.
At first glance, it says FBI. Then you look and it says female body inspector.
You're like, same shield and everything. And then you're like, get out of town.
Well, maybe some of these convicts, they can employ these anger coping strategies. I texted you this last week. I was in the middle of a move, which moving is always stressful. I will admit on air to our loyal listeners right in front of you in person that I once again underestimated just how much shit I have. You think you're living it minimalistic lifestyle. Yep. You think you're chipping away at it weeks leading up. No, you start emptying your cabinets. You know, you get the towels in the corner of your laundry room and just all the little things. It's just I underestimated, and I told you I was angry. Literally, the second to last day, that I was there, the elevator just shut down. I live on the 4th floor. The penthouse suite. That one really bit me in the ass.
So you just start throwing shit out your window?
You just have to go through the stairwell, and there's no central heat, so it's just hot as can be in the hallways. God. Or central air, whatever. But yeah, I texted you this, and I said I was very angry. I was frustrated. I recognized the emotion. And I still feel like I'm playing victim here, but I still feel like people just don't give me, like, I'll recognize that I'm upset or something and then try to do something about it, and that's the wrong thing to do. But the right thing to do is what I did the other day. I went to Culver's and got a cheeseburger combo meal. DC.
Does that come with like a little cup of ice cream?
Nope, but you can certainly order it.
Culver's custard, man.
Like every time I get coupons mailed to me, I will throw them away unless they're Culver's, but then the Culver's one will sit there until they expire, and I'm like, damn it.
I felt like kind of a dick yesterday at PetSmart. The lady tried to give me coupons, and I didn't recognize that they were coupons right away. And so I was like, what do you want me to do with these? Thinking that like she was giving me change or something, and she's like, they're coupons. And I was like, oh. Major concussion. I don't know how I drove here.
So Face Tat Girl's not working there anymore, you don't
No,
think?
she's still there. She is pregnant.
Damn it!
Gator don't play no shit. You feel me? Gator never been about that. Never been about playing no shit.
Or she just got really fat.
Matt. Yeah, so I was just curious, I went to Culver's and I felt better, I think sometimes you just get hangry. That's a term, hungry, angry. Mm-hmm. That usually ultimately cures it. Anything that you do in particular to kind of just maybe chill out a little bit?
I like to get in front of it before I get angry.
Okay. Like you anticipate the anger coming on?
I have a real weird anger because little things make me very angry, but something that should make me like, he better be pissed. And I'm like,
you have micro anger.
Yeah, like if someone doesn't yield the right of way on a back street, I'm in my car just screaming, hitting things.
Yeah.
But then like they're like, oh, someone broke in your house and took all your possessions. So I was like, well,
I'm going to be taking a nap downstairs. Please keep it down.
Well, did they move my bed? Because it sucks. They'll probably return it.
Yeah. Well, and then one day it was just a long weekend. I had a lot going on, and we'll delve more into that in a little bit here. But at one point, I just turned my phone off for like 4 hours. Turned my phone on. People are like, "We were trying to get a hold of you," and I'm like, "Well, that's why I turned my phone off. Please leave me alone." I was so angry that I was indoors watching the Cubs game with sunglasses on because I came in from outside and I was just fuming, and I just sat there with my sunglasses on in the recliner. It wasn't even reclined. That's how you know a guy's angry. He's sitting in a recliner, didn't even recline it.
I felt like I was pretty angry yesterday, and
Yeah.
you know what? It really calmed me down. I was like, let's see if I can get this weed whacker to start. Like the fourth pole it started. I don't really need to weed whack. I really do. My whole yard is 3 feet tall right now.
You start weed whacking the whole yard.
I really probably need to. But the weed whacker started, and I was like, I don't need to. I'm still in my work clothes, and I just go into the backyard, and I just
You got to ride that momentum.
Oh, my forearms are like shaking. And I'm like, this
Like out of excitement or tiredness?
Well, the weed whacker was going pretty hard, and I was just,
Yeah.
I was getting in there. I was weed whacking like bushes.
Weed whacking is satisfying.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah, you ever get caught up in those videos on the socials where they're just like mowing down like a very overgrown yard?
Yeah, it's like, I'm Spencer from SS Mowing, and we're going to mow this guy's yard. Next scene, it's like him getting arrested for trespassing.
Get on the ground, dirtbag.
It's like, yeah, this old lady said I could mow her lawn. No, she didn't. It's like, she's like up there. She's like, I said he could.
It's like,
We're going to let you go with a warning this time.
he's mowing and he's got like the noise canceling headphones on, and the cops are like, stop what you're doing. And then he can't hear him, and he's like, if you don't listen to my next command, I will tase you. And he's just on a zero turn more, just perfect lines, and just gets tased.
So at my buddy's house growing up, we would sit in this tree house, and his dad would be mowing the lawn with no shirt on, and we'd shoot him with airsoft guns. We'd almost never hit him though, so when he got hit, he would think he got like stung by a bee.
Yeah.
Until he would see us giggling like schoolgirls, like in a not very hidden treehouse.
It was very
like
obvious.
very visible. We're just up in the corner of the yard, just pink, pink, pink.
Good times. Yeah. Gosh, what was I gonna say? Oh, the best is when you throw eggs, but you're in a fenced-in yard and there's like a busy street right there. You know what I'm talking about. And like you throw eggs or just any sort of object out into traffic, and then you just hear people just slam on their brakes, and it's like they have no idea where that came from. Just go hide in the house.
The one time at said house, I threw a golf ball, and I didn't think this one had a chance really to get to the road. It did, and I see this truck coming, and I lead it perfectly, and I just hear glass shatter, followed by like a 15-foot. He knew where it came from.
He knew exactly where that golf ball came from.
Yeah, I hid in the bushes for a while as he yelled at the fence. He left eventually, but
you just got to hold your ground there. But hey, if you're angry, just head on over to Culver's. I'll give them the shout out on the podcast. That's fine with me. And if I have gotten angry at anyone lately, maybe not been on my best behavior, I do apologize. Okay, I'm really working on it.
Take me to Culver's.
I'll buy. You drive. The fries are so good. Now we need to quit talking about food.
Yeah, so I'm big into old timey baseball stories.
You have old timey thing twice here, Matt.
Yes. I've been doing a lot of reading. I've been on Wikipedia most of this week. I think that's what I do when I take a jolt to the head. I just go down rabbit holes of Wikipedia.
It's like when Michael Scott discovers YouTube, but you just rediscover Wikipedia, don't get any work done.
No, that's what I do. I was on like a minor league baseball team, and I was like, clicked on it, and I was like, oh, Chattanooga had a team. Click on that. Find their owner back in the day, Joe Engel, greatest owner in minor sports history. So he bought him. Not
the bench player from the Minnesota Timberwolves?
No, this guy was born in like 1885.
Chattanooga?
Joe Engel.
Engel. Engel.
Yeah, you'll want to type in baseball after. There's quite a bit of Joe Ingles.
Anyway, go ahead.
So he was a baseball owner in the 1920s of a minor league team called the Chattanooga Lookouts. And I
like that.
One day had his players come into the stadium on elephants. He once traded a shortstop for a turkey.
Yep, roasted it and served it to local sports writers who had been giving him the bird. That's a power move.
The best is that he would give away horses to like people that would raffle. Like, hey, you put in, you get a raffle. You're in Chattanooga, 1934. Let's say you live in a city house. What are you going to do with a horse that you win at a baseball game?
I don't know. That's part of the fun. You never know what you're going to have to.
And the best one's the last one that he, during a game, he had a left-handed girl pitcher who was 17 years old come start the game, and she struck out Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig.
Interesting. I like that. That's like guerrilla marketing before it was like a thing. It's hard to figure out what do the people want. And I've always been a person that's like, let's just be bold. Let's stand out. Let's do. That's what makes it difficult. It's like, let's do something that nobody else is doing. I mean, I think we've done a good job of that, at least in the local community. And once again, we will talk about that in a little bit here. Yeah, but that is a baseball legend,
Yeah, there's so many.
They're gonna make a movie about this guy.
They honestly should. There's so many. Like, there's teams like they're like, oh yeah, we're going to play the Brooklyn Dodgers or the LA Dodgers, like when they moved there, and so they were taking a train, and it's like, we had to leave our second baseman at home. He couldn't afford the train ride. And so they had like picked some random dude up in Wyoming to play second base for them in like the 1935 World Series.
I want to go back to those days.
Yeah.
Where it's just a scrap squad.
And it's like their name would just be like Lawrence, insert something from your garage, Williams.
I'm just thinking of like beer league softball, just how scrappy that was. I mean, I think there's rules that say like because you field 10, and and then you can hit more than that, but you field 10 in softball. There's like 4 outfielders, 5 infielders, whatever you want to go with. And I just remember there would be times where it's like people couldn't make it to the game or everybody was out of town for whatever reason, and just begging the other team to let us play with like 8 dudes. Just say the outfielders got their cardio in, and then we'd win, and that's never a good recipe. Let me throw this idea for a movie plot at you. Okay, so think of the butterfly effect. I don't know if you've seen it. I actually haven't seen it, but I know what it's about, and I'm familiar with the movie. A little bit of Click with Adam Sandler. What if this movie plot is just pretty much a person has the ability, like say they're just, I don't know, maybe a terrible person or just an upstanding citizen, one of the two, maybe both throughout the movie. Maybe he starts out as a terrible person and then by the end is just a great person. But you get like granted this wish or the ability to see who would show up to your funeral and what would they say. Wouldn't that be kind of wild?
Yeah.
Isn't that that's pretty deep right now. You're thinking about it.
Isn't that Chris Rock movie?
I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not.
No,
Is that already a movie?
Type in Chris Rock dies, becomes old white dude.
We'll just go Chris Rock movies. I think, okay, maybe I can.
I thought it was called like
Down to Earth.
Down to Earth, yeah.
Is this already a movie?
That's also a fucking deep pull from me.
All right, well.
He basically like gets hit by a dump truck and then he like.
The internet has given up.
Yeah, well.
Okay. Down to Earth is a 2001 comedy/fantasy, 1 hour, 27-minute runtime. When amateur comedian Lance Barton, Chris Rock, finds himself at heaven's door, he is what the fuck? He is convinced. Hold on. He is convinced there has been a mistake. Miraculously, he is right. Since returning to his own body is not an option, a heavenly agent places him into the corpse of a rich Manhattan mogul who has just been murdered by his wife, until a more suitable replacement can be found. Ironically, it is as this new person that Lance ultimately discovers his true self, falls in love, and improves his comedy act in the process. So yeah, I mean,
I think he goes back and like tries to go to his own funeral, and they're like, "Oh, we didn't have one because you weren't popular or something."
Okay. Well, and I mean the lack of creativity these days and remakes and stuff. I think my plot, but I think that's what the whole plot is like based around, where it's like, I don't know, maybe just this like very terrible person, and like
or someone that thinks he's awesome and then
dies. They're just like really arrogant. I don't know if they necessarily die in this. It's just like, okay, hey, you like. Because if you could see who's at your funeral and what they say, that can kind of give you a glimpse of like, okay, how did your life go? You know, did you make a difference? You know, did people love you and what have you? And maybe he starts as like a terrible person. I don't know why we're writing a screenplay right now.
I'm here for it. We're doing a crossword next week. So
yeah, Matt and I will be, the most of the episode will be Matt and I trying to figure out a crossword.
I'm going to do like a 5th grade level one. So that
terrific.
So hopefully,
make it easy.
Hopefully, we can get like half of it done.
But this guy's a terrible person. He gets granted this like a wish to like see who's at his funeral. It's not great, but he's still alive. Turns things around, and then he like sees it again later, or maybe it is his funeral. The end of the movie is his actual funeral. I think I just wrote something.
Or it could be like.
I am the best screenwriter alive.
He's in a coma, and as people come in to see him in the hospital,
they jerk him off.
They could also do that.
Oh,
but what if
my bad.
He was like, you went straight porn, like
my bad,
real quick. Like
my bad.
Yeah, so they drained him of his semen. So
they gotta freeze it.
Yeah. Like on the League when Ruxins, he's like. Wakes up from having a stroke, and Rafi's like, I jerked you off like a Doberman.
People do that?
I don't know. Yeah, but I like that idea. Like he's sitting up above watching himself. Like people come in to see him in the hospital, and like his friends are like, "You're a real fucking dick."
Yeah.
And then he like comes back to life, and he comes outside of the hospital and just raced by a school bus.
Yeah.
It's like Final Destination meets Down to Earth meets Click.
Yeah, let's just pretty much take like the good parts of like 4 or 5 different movies and just mesh them into one.
I love the neighbor from Click when he's like, my dad's car has a better stereo system. It's a Bose. He's like, your dad's stereo blows? He's like, no, I didn't say that.
Yeah. What can you do?
Oh, yeah. 1,000 Ways to Die.
Well, Matt, what do you... no. You're jumping the gun here.
Oh, yeah.
I recently sold a business. So currently I am homeless and jobless, and let me tell you, pretty sweet.
Yeah, you are in your quitting era.
Oh, yeah, I'm in my quitting era big time. But I guess I just wanted to reflect on the business ownership. The name of the business will not be named because it is still operational. I just sold it.
Culver's.
It's Culver's. I own the North Culver's in Bismarck. Go check it out. Code Jordan10 for them to charge you an extra $10.
That'd be sick. Yeah, if someone actually uses it, we'll give you the $10.
Yeah. But basically what I did was I just installed for sale signs for residential listings. I worked with realtors, agencies. You sell your house, in the front lawn goes a for sale sign. To me, it's like an American pastime. You have baseball, you have apple pie, you have the Beatles, and then you have for sale signs in the front yard.
The Beatles were British.
I was testing you. You're good. You're not that concussed, pal. Get in line. But there's just a few things that just pet peeves, and I figured now that it's behind me, I can just kind of bitch and moan about it. So think about the post. It's got like a post and an arm, and then hangs a for sale sign. So when I would go install them, I would pretty much dig a hole. I would put my post in the hole, and then I would hang the sign, right? Makes sense. Like you wouldn't put the sign on first and then try to get it in the hole and make sure it's nice and secure, would you?
Right now, in my mental state, probably.
Okay, out of your mental state, what do you think? You think it'd
Probably still.
So, what I didn't understand was like when people bought a home or sold the home, depending on which party you are, I would be notified that, hey, I need to head there and remove that because the transaction's final, so the house has been sold, people are moving in. It's like, cool, I'll go take care of it. Rather easy. But people, for some reason, think that if there's a for sale sign in their front yard for longer than a day after the final papers have been signed, transactions completed, I don't know what it is, but it's they're so afraid that somebody else is gonna buy this house. Or, I mean, I'm speculating here, but do you know what I mean? Where it's oh, this sign needs to come down immediately. It's the house is yours. Okay, nobody's just gonna undercut you because there's a for sale sign there. And then even if the argument is, well, I don't want this in my yard. Well, guess what, jackass? It's been in the front fucking yard for the last 6 months. Okay.
You're the only one judging by your to buy this house.
Yeah, and judging by your shitty lawn, I think this sign and post is the least of your worries. So what would they do? They wouldn't wait for me to get there. And this is this is a fence post. It's about a 4-inch wide hole, let's say. It's about 18 inches deep. So kind of a long, skinny hole, but there's still a hole. There's still a giant part of your yard missing, which I would always take care of. But what people would do is they would pull the post out, not remove the sign. Why would they do that? What I would always do is put it on my shoulder and then walk with it.
Like Jesus.
Pretty much like Jesus, doing the Jesus walk. It's kind of fucking hard to do that when they would leave the sign on there. One guy actually recently, he had his lot and next to him was an empty lot, and I had signs in both. He took it out of his yard and set it in the empty lot full of dirt. Proceeded to rain for an entire week, so this thing was just covered in mud. I was like, thanks a lot, jackass. Just leave it in the goddamn yard. You're going to be fine. And I was timely. I was there like rather quickly. It's like you couldn't wait you couldn't just go to bed, and by the time you get home from work the next day, the post would be gone. I would take care of it. But what do they do, Matt? And this is why I had an insurance policy. They wouldn't fill up the giant crater in their yard. A dog, a child, even an adult, anybody walking by, you're playing in your yard, mowing your lawn. I mean, there was a chance that didn't happen because it was very unlikely. That's why you have insurance, though. You could break a leg in this thing.
Oh, for
so
sure.
So we're going to remove the post from our yard, but we're not going to bother putting in the dirt. And I wanted so bad when I would show up to these places and be like, fuck you. If you want a big hole in your yard, if you want to jump the gun and not wait for me to get here, you can take care of the hole in your yard.
You should just,
but then I would go fill it up with dirt. So I was like, I don't want to deal with somebody.
If they take something of yours and put it somewhere, you should just steal something of theirs. It's like, I am pretty close to a full patio furniture set at this point.
Pretty much. Another thing, and I'm just going to be real here. I am speaking frankly. That's, if you know me, I'm just brutally honest. I'm a pretty straightforward guy. And if you're one of these people, just try your best to not take it personally. It is a personal shot at you, but try your best to not take it personally. Realtors, real estate agents are the cheapest, most impatient humans on this earth. It is absolutely ridiculous, some of the things that I was asked to do. I once got asked for like a discount when we clearly signed an agreement and the language is clear about a discount. Like, no, this is not how it works. We have a contract in place, actually.
I should go to McDonald's and order something like off like the 3 for $5 and be like, let's make it 3 for $4 and I'll get out of here.
What's the best you can do on that? Is there negotiating at McDonald's? No. When you go to the grocery store, do you sit there and haggle with the cashier?
I could argue that
No.
McDonald's has less of a contract in place than what you had.
So the realtors. Also, I would work on weekends, if I needed to, if it worked out. I wouldn't feel completely obligated to, but most of the time I would just work on weekends just to get it done and not have to worry about it. And I wanted to get it, there in a timely manner, deliver on my promise on my end of the deal. It's funny. I would have to be there in 3 days, but they didn't have to pay their invoice for 15. So I guess I'll just bend over and you might as well just stick your dry fist up my ass while you're at it. Sorry, that was pretty graphic.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna.
I thought it was good though. That was a good analogy.
Why is the
analogy?
Fist, why is the fist dry?
Well, that makes it hurt.
Is it
more.
better if it wet?
If there's a fist going in my ass, I would prefer that bitch to be lubed up. I don't know how we got it. Now we're discussing. Yeah. Now we're analytically breaking down a fist in your ass. This is no brains, no headache, people.
I think we should change the fortune cookie industry and be like, that's the type of advice that you get. Be like, oh, it's my fortune today. I'm like, if you're gonna get a fist in your ass, it should be lubed up. Oh, just huge bite into an egg roll.
No, I'm hungry.
Yeah. Don't put your wiener in the toaster. Oh, sweet. More sweet and sour chicken.
But I would work on weekends, Matt. What I didn't appreciate, and I'm one of the best communicators, and that was definitely one of my strengths. It's like, hey, I'm going to get back to you right away. I'm going to let you know what's going on. We're at least going to be on the same page and know, like, what's going on, what's happening. What I didn't appreciate was like a 7:30 p.m. on a Sunday night text. Sunday night. The fucking workday starts the very next morning. You could text me right at 8 a.m. That's fine. Do you text McDonald's at 7:30 p.m. on a Sunday? I absolutely thought it was ridiculous because they knew I would get back to them like as soon as I could during normal business hours. Also explaining business hours. You would think Maybe because they're realtors, they can work whenever they want. And it's kind of non-traditional when it comes to hours. Explaining what business hours were to some of these people was quite the concept. You'd be like, oh, well, I thought it was supposed to be in 4 days ago. And I was like, actually, this is actually only starts a few business days from this point. And I'm not going to get into it, but of what exactly that means. But I said, these are business hours. So guess what? If you lollygag all week, you don't get your shit in before the weekend. And say there's a holiday on Monday. Say it's Memorial Day, Labor Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We celebrated a lot of...
Flag Day is coming
we
up.
celebrated every holiday at this company.
Flag
We
Day?
took them off. Yeah.
Or like, never mind.
Yeah, let's not go down that road. But if you didn't get your shit done by the weekend, guess what? Saturday and Sunday, those aren't business hours. So don't text me on Sunday evening. I get it. You hate your life. You hate your job. Your clients suck. Not my problem.
Mom and Dad are wondering if you want lemonade. Don't ask. Just bring it. Hey, little girl, I don't want purple. It gives me the runs.
I also got told that by other people that I should just take this business plan and start it somewhere else. I said, I don't think you understand why I'm selling the business. Do you ever just want to be done with something and like move on to something else? People just they don't get that.
Yeah, I was trying to think of an example of like, oh yeah, I was a dog walker in my town. I moved to New York because I wanted something new. And someone's like, you know what you should do in New York is
walk dogs.
You could walk some mean dogs. There's a lot of dogs there, I think.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. But I've sold my first business. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Nice.
But pretty impressive. I've had a hard time giving myself credit for it, but
I won't.
And that's fine. But just the fact that I even achieved this process, and I really do. I wish the new owners nothing but success. And I'm definitely going to be here to help them. But as of right now, yeah, I'm kind of jobless. And that's a lose. People are like, oh, what are you going to do now? It's like, well, actually, fun fact, I still own another business, bitch.
Nothing for 2 months, and it's going to be
What are you going to do now? Maybe I just want to relax for a while.
Set the
Karen.
ground speed record for times you can jerk off in a day. Sounds pretty good.
Does sound fun.
I was going to say something like along the lines of like being needy and shit. So the bank that I have my mortgage through charges me $3 a month to send me
Your statement?
a statement.
$3, huh? Times must be tough for the bank.
And then I looked at it, and over 30 years, they're going to make an extra $300,000 off of me.
Is that how much it comes out to?
In interest. Yeah. It's like
Okay.
your base payment's like nothing on your mortgage. Like I'd say like 60% of it or more, I'm probably way light on that, is interest to the bank.
Do you mean interest on your mortgage or the $3 fee?
No, to like on the mortgage. The
okay.
$3 fee
like,
that
what
like
kind of
they're
math
like,
are you
oh
doing?
yeah, we're gonna add that on, or like take this part. I'm like, fucking email it to me because I don't even open them. I just throw it in the garbage, or it sits on the ping pong table.
Well, especially as I navigate like the business world and all these new things that are coming up in my life, you know what I'm kind of liking to do now, Matt? You know, like we like power moves. I like chicken wings.
All right, we're gonna say it at the same time.
All right, on three. I'll say three and then
Okay.
go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Three.
Strong
Homestead.
arm. What do you homestead?
I thought you were gonna homestead somewhere.
Oh.
Like Alaskans.
No,
do.
I meant like I like to strong arm people.
Oh.
Where it's like you're in a negotiation thing and it's just like, okay, well, good luck. And then you kind of start to walk away and they're like, whoa, 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 whoa,
The
whoa.
walk away.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
nasty birds.
Yeah, or they it's like it's business, you know, like one piece of advice that I could give to anybody out there, you know, you don't even have to be a business owner. You could just have whatever your career is, especially even in relationships. But if you are a business owner, one thing, you know, in human nature, we definitely have the tendency to undervalue ourselves. You know, because it's kind of an awkward thing of like, oh, I'm starting up a business, say it's a service base. Oh, how much do you charge? And maybe you're just unsure of, you know, what the market value is, or what, how much time and effort and energy and resources it's going to take. So as humans, we tend to undervalue ourselves because overall it is kind of a little bit of an awkward thing to ask people for money. In a degree, I think that's probably more of a Midwest thing, kind of like red eye rooms and mild salsa. But one piece of advice I would give to anybody in really any instance in life, it's know your worth, know your value. Your time holds weight as well, so your time should be worth something. And like if you have a normal job, say you get paid, $30 an hour. Well, according to the company that is employing you, that is your worth. That's what your time is worth. Every hour you're there, you're going to get the $30. Whatever benefits, perks you might have on top of that, wonderful. But my advice to any young person out there, or really anybody in general in any facet of life, know your value, know your worth, and stick to it. Because if people aren't going to respect that and meet you where you want to be, then tell them to get lost. Strong arm them. Trust me, if you are worth it, they're going to come back to you. So that is my rant on owning a business. Now that it's behind me, I figure we could talk about it some more. And that's the last time we will.
So how do you feel about my homesteading in Alaska idea?
I'd kind of like that. I always come across on the socials, I come across people who do car camping. And it's like, I was like, gosh, there's really nothing stopping me from just throwing a dirty old mattress in the back of my car. Taking the minute, like I
love when they're like, I took a Sawzall to the inside of this and now it's my refrigerator.
Yeah. Like I said earlier with moving, I underestimated like how much shit I have. And now I've downsized because my new living situation, like my personal space is way downsized, but overall space is more. But I didn't need everything for the new pad. But I really do like strive to be, in a sense, a minimalist person where it's like, people, they like want to drive nice cars and constantly like have a new car or get all the toys, a four-wheeler, a jet ski, a boat, a side-by-side, UTV, whatever. We need the new 2025 Chevy Silverado. We need the 2026, this and that. I don't know about you, Matt. I maybe I can kind of tell because you and I have probably had the same vehicles for like the last 10 years of our lives.
I'm driving mine till it literally explodes with or without me in it.
Yeah. See, I don't mind nice things. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not crazy about like always having the most advanced, newest material belongings. And yeah, so like the temptation to go like car camping or live in a van or whatever, go homestead, it is really tempting to me because it's like, well, I would definitely like everything in your life you would do would have deep meaning. It would be practical, and like you wouldn't like. Sometimes waste just bothers me, where it's like, pizza party for the corporate company you work for. We just cracked $2 trillion in company value. Here is $200 worth of pizza. Enjoy. Half the pizza doesn't get eaten. Straight to the dumpster.
Then I leave work, realize I'm still hungry, go into the dumpster.
Yeah, gotta do it.
Okay, let's move on to something else.
Let's do it. We only have so much time left here. Boy.
Yeah,
coming up on an hour, people.
I mean, none of this is timely, so maybe yours is if you want to do yours. Mine, I can always just do it later.
Are you suggesting we just kind of move on?
Yeah, let's go. You can end with yours, and then we'll bust out of here.
Okay, so being located in North Dakota, we're obviously neighbors with Canada. And every goddamn summer/fall, Canada cannot figure it out. There's always a goddamn forest fire that's out of control. And it makes our air quality just poor as can be. It's like, it's so weird even being outside. It's like, oh, it's a nice sunny day. And you just feel like you're blind. Yeah, I'm hungry now. Deal with it. But yeah, so what are some ways we could combat the Canadian forest fires? Thoughts on that?
I could think they could start cutting down most of their forest and selling the wood so that they make money. They could do that. Deforestation's an option.
I mean, I like you're not wrong.
I'm an
If there's nothing to burn, you'll take care of the fires pretty quick.
This might sound bad, but I'm an anti-tree person.
Really?
Like, I just want no trees.
Well, you live in a great state for that. There's no goddamn trees here.
Even like the ones on my yard, I want them gone. It's like, wow, that's a real nice tree. It's like, you can have it. Well, I like, there was a couple small trees right when I moved into this place that they like tried to plant. And I was like, not today. And I literally just went and yanked them out of the ground.
Jesus.
Fresh planted, just threw them in the garbage.
I mean, to each their own. My thought was, since we have President Donald Trump at the helm and he's like a bit out there when it comes to like borders, the southern borders, the concern with a lot of crime and what have you. That's kind of where that folk, when they talk about border like control, that they're usually talking about the southern border. I'm thinking for the northern border, we just have a giant wall. Instead of a fence, it's just a wall of fans. And then when the Canadian wildfires inevitably start every year, just to not ruin our day and our air quality and then just quality of life and overall, we turn on the fans and then we invoice Canada for the energy bill.
I was like,
thoughts?
dude, all wind farms are giant fans. We make the energy off of that.
Yeah. But it needs to blow the smoke back to Canada.
Well, I was
or
thinking,
like,
even we come out
or like if you're looking from a satellite view, it's just Canada's covered in smoke and just right along the border, there's just a perfect line where the smoke stops.
This is coming from someone who got not borderline, what we call retarded on their ACT in science. We build like large fans that suck in the smoke and then
Blow it to Mexico.
convert it into energy, and then the offshoot of it is clean air.
Okay. I thought maybe you're going like, let's build a tunnel system from the Canadian, like so we suck in the smoke from the Canadian border and then it goes out to Mexico.
Dude, if you want to go down a great Wikipedia/YouTube rabbit hole, I went through this one this week. Tunnels from Mexico to the U.S. There's so many of them.
Oh,
some of them are like miles long.
Tunnels in general. Last week, you remember we were talking about our old high school when we discovered that you could just like crawl under the foundation. It was just kind of like a dusty, like concrete area. That's all it really was. And we were like, dude, we should have smoked cigs down there and like saw, tested out if like the smell comes up to the school and it just reeks like cigarettes. Would have been awesome.
Well, that's like, and then I said that a great like senior prank for anyone in high school, you should definitely do this, and don't mention my name, but break into your school and then just smoke like a couple packs of cigarettes all around the school.
Yeah, it would be hilarious.
You know how hard it is to get cigarette smoke out of things?
Yeah.
Like those computers are going to have like, why does every book in the library reek like cigarettes now?
Yeah.
Well, back in 92, the old Matt O'Cleary down there came
Matt
out.
O'Cleary. Well, and the funny thing about these Canadian wildfires is like, North Dakota and the Great Plains, we're always known for it being like windy as shit all the time. The first 2 days the smoke rolled in, there wasn't a lick of wind.
Oh, yeah. It was a muggy world.
Well, and then when it first started, I was just trying to, get some answers as to like what's going on, where are they at, what places are all, smoked up and hazy. And the article I was reading was like, what you need to do since the air quality is so low, you definitely need to stay indoors. Also, don't run your air conditioning system because you're bringing the pollutants into your home. Like, okay, so it's 88 degrees outside, humid as can be, and we're just supposed to sit inside with no air conditioning. Also, you're supposed to buy a commercial grade air filter.
Yeah. So I totally have one of those.
Yeah, everybody definitely has one of those.
Well, I was thinking of the one time there was a fire back in like old Twitter. I didn't really have much of a filter. So there was like a fire in Taiwan or something, and it was like a picture of like this huge flame. And of course, I quote tweeted it and say, "Looks like my mixtape just dropped," or something like that. And someone commented on it and just goes, "Thousands of people died." And I was like, "Okie then." Yeah, so if you want to follow the podcast, you can find us on all social media platforms: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Subscribe to us on YouTube, comment, do all that jazz. And we'll be back next week.
Yeah, do everything Matt just said. Upcoming shows, Friday, July 11th, I will be at the Drop Zone in Minot. There's definitely nothing else in the entire state going on that weekend. So you're going to want to get your little tush up to Minot at the Drop Zone and come see me. And then Saturday, September 13th, Matt and I will be at the Bell Mayhews with John Kennedy, David Standel. And it's looking like Samson Hurley for that one. So we have a great lineup. Excited for that one. That may be my farewell show. So for all of those jackasses out there who, I can't make it to your thingy, I have the kids. Okay, well, we're telling you months in advance, you'll get the goddamn babysitter now. How many times has that happened to you where people just over and over and over, they're like, I've been meaning to come to your show, but every time you have one, my kids are still alive and here, and it's like, I gotta watch them. It's like, well, what the heck?
I still got pancreatic cancer. I don't think I'm going to make it.
That would be fine. But thank you guys so much for listening. Next up, we have episode 252. See you then.
You're watching Channel 4 News with 5-time Emmy Award-winning anchor Ron Burgundy and Tits McGee.
Good evening, San Diego. I'm Veronica Corningstone. Tits McGee is on vacation.